Uncomfortable is the word I use to describe Postal 1. It's violent, shocking, and disturbing, and most of all, like I previously stated, it's uncomfortable. And in our modern world, most people are at least a little bit desensitized to violence, including myself especially. So it's rare when something could still unsettle me. Postal 1 managed to do so. I can only imagine how shocking it must have been back in the late 90s when it was developed by Running with Scissors and unleashed into the world. If you've never heard of Postal 1 before, well, firstly, it's nothing like Postal 2 except in name. Secondly, I highly encourage you to pick it up for free on Steam. I'll put a link in the description. And play it all the way through if you can handle the subject matter and it seems like something you'd be interested in. It will probably take you around an hour or two max to play all the way through, and it's worth it just for the incredibly upsetting ending. But enough with all the stalling. You most likely came here for the incredibly provocative title I still haven't figured out as of writing this and recording this. Postal 1 is a masterpiece in controversial art. Even, dare I say, better than Postal 2 in that regard. While I do believe both games share the same goal of setting out to push people's buttons, I think Postal 1 could truly teach us something about the current state of society, or at least make us question things. The greatest things a piece of art can do is make you feel something or make you question something, and Postal 1 does both of these. It made me, personally, feel very uncomfortable while playing, which is something I applaud the game for. What other games can you think of where the entire mission statement of the game is to make the player feel uncomfortable about the actions they're committing in-game? I can think of games that make the player question things, or even feel uncomfortable about what a certain character is doing, but not for the entire game. Games that come to mind are the Hotline Miami series, a personal favorite of mine. Pretty much any one of the games made by Rockstar. Examples include the torture scene from GTA 5, and pretty much all of Manhunt 1 and 2. These games make the player ask questions about themselves, the big one being, do you like hurting other people, as Richard from Hotline Miami would put it. Games like Manhunt may make the player feel similar to how I felt playing Postal 1, but just with the added horror atmosphere and stealth elements to soften the blow a little. Postal 1 just goes balls to the walls with its depiction of violence, an unrelenting, chaotic, and disturbing depiction. People don't die from being shot, and you have the choice of mercy killing them or just letting them bleed out. You can even do more horrible things to them like lighting them on fire. People scream and cry, it's all very upsetting. Before we get on to the rest of the video, I think it's important to say that mentally ill people are more often victims of violence than perpetrators. Although that doesn't mean it never happens, it just means it is almost never the case. Obviously, there has to be something going on to make you do something like what the Postal dude does in this game, but a majority of the time, if it happens, it's not just mental illness, so please don't hate or fear anyone on account of what I say in this video. Postal 1 follows the Postal dude, a man who is coded to be schizophrenic or psychotic, meaning he is not outright stated to be so, but it is heavily implied, who just lost everything in a town of people he's convinced have some sort of madness disease. At least that's the lore in Postal Redux. The game takes place over 16 levels, 17 counting the ending, with both civilians and armed enemies mostly made up of police, with what a few I believe are militia members peppered in there. Each level begins with a bit of insight into the Postal dude's brain, my favorite line being, "Blessed are the meek, for they make easy targets," which is honestly just such a good line. If you found this video, I'm going to assume you probably know all of this stuff, so I'm just going to get into the juicy part of the video. Why I think Postal 1 is important, and why I think controversial or shocking art is important. I don't believe any art is without some merit. I think some art can have more merit than others, but I don't think any one creation can be completely devoid of meaning. And that goes for controversial, messed up stuff too. Think Human Centipede or Cannibal Holocaust. Even if a film has nothing to say or very little to say, something can still be gathered from it. Aside from the obvious messages of both films, being don't do eugenics or sew people together or don't be a missionary, they can still make us question things. What is acceptable to be shown on film? Is cruelty acceptable if it's for a greater purpose like art? Can we truly separate art from the artist? Some of these questions may have obvious answers, while others have been debated for years, but that doesn't mean these questions don't need to be brought back up. The rest of this video goes into spoiler territory for Postal 1, so if you made it this far into the video and still haven't played it, go play it now and come back. Postal 1 ends with Postal dude trying and failing to shoot at children in an elementary school. This was removed in Postal Redux, but can still be seen in the free Steam version of the game, which I think is understandable and I can see where they're coming from in removing it. But I think it's a cop-out. From what I've heard, the creators of the game said they removed it because it was originally meant to show something incredibly shocking that was completely unthinkable. But I still think it applies. To my knowledge, this is the only game to ever show something like this. It had the intended effect on me when I first played it, jaw-dropping shock. How could they show that? It was completely unthinkable to show something that grim in a video game. I truly believe that with the removal of this part of the game, the overall experience is less upsetting like it was intended to be. I don't think even the devs know what is going on in the ending of Postal Redux anyway. The game pushed boundaries with the original ending, even today. Boundaries always need pushing. There's a seldom talked about war between what is accepted and what is not. I believe we should always be striving to expand what is accepted and keep it in line with not hurting other people. An ending to a video game can't hurt someone who doesn't play it, and going into Postal 1, you should know what it's about. After the elementary school quote-unquote level, the game shows us the most important part of the entire experience. A distorted monologue that says, population pressure and the stress of modern life may cause an increase in violent tendencies. The urban environment is the incubator for all sorts of undesirable behaviors. However much his atrocities disgust us, he may actually consider himself a hero. This is a common among those who are referred to by the popular slang going postal. In his tortured mind, he may feel he was battling against impossible odds. It is not unusual for some individuals to believe that the entire fate of the world rests with them. In the end, our subject displays all the classic symptoms of a paranoid delusional. We may never know exactly what set him off, but rest assured, we will have plenty of time to study him. This right here is why I made this video in the first place. This short moment in a game made decades ago is, to me, one of the most important things I think people need to hear. Postal Dude isn't just a perpetrator, he's also a victim. This obviously does not make what he did acceptable to any extent, but it explains why he did it. By understanding why people enact these tragedies, we can work to fix the root issue of their misery and hopefully prevent them from doing such things in the future. Everybody thinks of themselves as the hero, even the worst of society. This speech also has the effect of causing us to look inward. Are we partially responsible for the massacre caused by Postal Dude and his demon? When you were a dumb teenager and bullied some kid on the internet, did that cause a ripple effect that led to a tragedy? Is it our fault that unstable people snap at least a little bit? What is the X factor that leads to all these horrible things happening? Some people say it's guns, some people say it's mental health, but is there even the slightest chance that it could be all of us as a group? I leave you with one final message. Be kind to the weirdos of society, the quiet kids and incels, the degenerates and hermits. You could be the one who stops them from causing a tragedy. Thank you for watching, and please tell me in the comments if you liked the video. I've left some mental health resources in the description, so if you are feeling homicidal or suicidal, please reach out. You're not alone. People can help you. Alright, thank you for watching the video, and have a good one.